What's up, y'all?
Good God, I'm so great. When I walk, the whole earth
Always
shakes.
acting up.
I'm like,
Oh, you not? What's going on? Yeah, what's good, y'all? Man, this motherfucker always acting up when it comes live. Welcome back. What the hell's going on? Hold on. Are we fucking live yet? Okay. Anyway, welcome to. I have my whole shit set up ready. Welcome back to MVP. Next bus, please. I'm your host, your boy Blunt. Appreciate you guys watching in. So it's a shit show starting. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, listen. First of all, let me start off by saying I apologize. I know some of you guys are here to see Haley DeBreo. He's not here. That is my fault. I apologize to you. I apologize to him. I already texted him and apologized to him. This weekend was a little bit hectic, so I never got back in touch with him. I didn't follow up with him on the logistics or how we're gonna do today's show. Um, it just didn't happen for me, and I ended up texting him like earlier this afternoon, which again is just too short of a notice to have a guest on. And I appreciate it. So hopefully we could get him back on by next week if possible, because he has a lot of stuff that you guys need to hear. And so I definitely want to have him on. The door is always open. I mean, he could come in if he gets a chance today, but um, he needs a whole hour. I need him to have a whole hour dedicated to him. So hopefully we just set it up for next Monday and get it popping. Plus, I want to have the women from the Jackie Gleason Depot, the Women's Committee. I want to have the panel here, all of them, if I can. I know the logistics of that is next to impossible. So hopefully I can get at least a couple of them on. And even before that, I'm gonna introduce a special guest or solo guest before that. And that if Hallie's not coming on next week, then I'm probably just gonna make it for that special guest, and it'll be a surprise though. But I just wanted to let you guys know because I know some of y'all might be tuning in to see him, and he's not here, and that is my fault. Again, I apologize to you guys, and I apologize to him. But we do have a show anyway because the show must go on. You know what I'm saying? What up? What up? What up, Jose? What's going on, Mr. Figueroa? We got operators on the loose in the building. What's going on, y'all? Mm. Salud, salud. A little cafe. Yeah, so we have two major subjects I want to talk about. That should be enough to cover the hour. I believe as long as you guys are interacting with me, we should be able to cover the hour. But there are two things that had happened um, during the course from last week to today that kind of just requires our attention, our feedback, your feedback. And um, one of the first things that I want to talk about is hold on. See, I had this set up right because of my weekend. Before we even get into that, my weekend was me going to a retirees function in Delaware. Uh, so what happened with that? This is why my whole weekend was kind of crazy. It was kind of um, a lot of stuff going on. So Lloyd Archer, who's the president of TW100R, was invited to a retirement meeting up in Delaware. Um, so when they asked him, invited him, he invited us to go, and so Lori and myself, we took a road trip out there over the weekend, and we went up to Delaware to their retirees meeting. It was held by, I believe the group is the CBTU, which is the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists. The people there were very welcoming and very professional when it comes to doing their business. During the meeting, the president noticed that there was a couple of new faces, i.e., Lloyd, myself, and Lori, a couple of other people that was there that we don't know. So she had us stand up and introduce ourselves, which is typical of a meeting, right? And Lloyd and myself got up to talk. Lloyd spoke, and I already told Lloyd that if I had to speak, I'm just going to say I'm with him. I didn't want to go through all that, but Lloyd talked about it. He let them know we were there for why we were there, our situation with the retirees here, and everywhere actually. But yeah, so it was a brief interaction after it sat down. Then Lloyd went up with the trifolds and handed them to each and every person that was there. So in the aspects of us getting the word out about what's happening with the retirees, I believe that trip was a success. Um, After the meeting, we mingled. Of course, you network, you talk to people. There was a couple of politicians there at the meeting too, very important politicians. And I'm not talking union politics. I'm talking government politicians that were there. Of course, they had their agenda that they wanted to speak on, but it was nice to see how the politicians got involved or getting involved with union business. I think that's completely necessary. You know what I mean? For things to progress. If we could get the politicians to talk about what we're doing, what's happening to us, there's a better chance of us reversing and getting you guys back that traditional um, Medicare along with the 20% wraparound. And so that's why we went up there because everybody's involved in this, whether you know it or not. Uh, this retirees are your future. You should be able to put two and two together. Retirees, you're still active. You're heading to that. That's your goal. So you're heading to where we are right now, and that's the fact that they took your traditional Medicare away, and you're still paying for it. You should be still paying for it in your FICA. So we're in a position where we are in an appeal for our court case. The judge struck down a couple of our grievances, but we still have a couple to hold on to, and we're going to appeal the whole thing. But the appeal is not cheap. We're talking 28,000 just to say okay, we're going to take the case, and that's not the extra stuff that comes with it, like other fees and filings and stuff. All that stuff costs money. We was estimated around maybe 60,000 for the appeal alone, and so us retirees, we don't have money like that. So that's why we rely heavily on you guys, and I'm gonna continue to keep asking if you can donate. Please scan the QR code if you can. Any contribution will help. Um, just just make the donation. If you can set it up to where you contribute $5 a month automatically, that helps. Any little bit helps. Don't be like, yo, I only got $5. $5 ain't your $5 means a lot to us. So $5 here. If you got the money, you can spare $100 here or there. Hey, I can't ask you for that, but if you want to donate, I can't stop you from donating. Remember, you're not just donating to any cause. This is going to directly affect you. So please, anything you can donate. Don't be shy, and help yourselves out. It's not just us that you're going to help out. It's going to be everybody. So let's get that done and get that out the way. So all right, so let's move on because I mean I know we got an hour and I only have two real major subjects, but still it's gonna be probably gonna use up the whole hour. So now, if you guys have been following the news, especially when it comes to transit, this is going to be very familiar to you because it just happened a couple of days ago, sometime last week or something like that. And that is this: MTA bus driver accused of punching 16-year-old in the face in Midwood. You know, they have to say that word accused because it's the same thing as saying alleged. It's an ongoing investigation. But we know that that is not the case, right? We know. For those of us who seen this story, you already know what the outcome was, right? And this is something that not just even when Book and Pete was here, we would talk about this. We would talk about this, and I was just saying something about this last week before this actually happened, and that was what a big house was good, my boy, and that was that you represent. I can't go verbatim. I don't remember what I said too much, but you have to understand when you throw that uniform on, you are acting as a company member. You are the reflection of the company, right? So you have to use that uniform, that badge, and let that absorb all the wickedness that comes your way. Let it go into the uniform and dissipate. It's not a personal thing, right? You have to maintain your professionalism at all times. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody could do it. But you are the professional here. You have to maintain that, right? So in this story, let's 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 go over this together, shall we, folks? I'm gonna share the screen with you guys. See, always puts me on the wrong side, man. Put me on the right side. I know you guys. Hold on. Here we go. So here, guys, you guys can see the title. MTA bus driver accused of punching 6-year-old. Let me just double check. Okay. Let's go through this, y'all, because this is I'm really upset about this in a way. The bus driver was arrested Monday night for allegedly punching a 16-year-old in the face. Can we just pause for a second there? Like, you're a grown ass man and you're punching on a 16-year-old. Does that all right, I'm putting myself in that position and I shouldn't. Let's go. The two got into an argument outside the B6 near Bay Parkway at East 2nd Street just before 9:40 p.m. The victim appeared to be holding on to the bus as he biked alongside of it. Okay, that's the situation. He was surfing with the bus on his bike, right? You know, they get on the bike, they grab what they can, and they just cruise along with the bus and let the bus do all the work. Typical kid shit, right? Especially in Brooklyn, that's nothing. He's on a bike. Most of us just rode on the back of the bus without no bike. We just hanged on for our life. And we rode that motherfucker till the wheels fell off. You know, bus driver came out, we jumped, we ran. That was a typical kid thing in Brooklyn. So this it's not unusual, right? It happens. So police said the 42-year-old bus driver, 42, they call him out. Michael Brown got out to address the team, and an argument culminated in him punching the 16-year-old several times. Um, I'm just trying to think. At what point does a 16-year-old not get under your skin? Right? They're gonna get under your skin, whether it's your child or somebody else's child. They get under your skin. But as a grown man, and you know what? I'm not really speaking for, what's his name? Mr. Michael, Mr. Brown. I'm not speaking for him. But I'm just trying to ration this out in my head because as a grown man, at what point do you say, fuck this little kid, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him? When does that come up? Or should you be saying he's just a little kid, he knows no better? Right? This is the problem we're having everywhere in society. You're either big brother or you OG. You don't beat them. You school him. Right? It's not your child to be putting hands on. I'm gonna get to that point in a second. But you you got years on this kid. He doesn't know no better. Or if he does, he's just being ignorant. Your job as an adult is to school these young ones. We want to make the world a better place than we left it, right? Now that doesn't go for everybody out there. There's some people that really don't give a fuck. They really don't. And my thing to them is then don't take a public job where you have to deal with the public. Because you're going to deal with this all the time. And if you're not a people person, this job ain't for you. But at what point do you hit a kid? That's not yours, right? All right, let's finish this. The team was taken to the hospital to be treated, possibly for a broken nose. Brown's facing a slew of charges, including assault, reckless endangerment, and acting in a manner injurious to a child under 17. All right, we're gonna we're gonna leave that right there, right? This is just it's upsetting to me because at look at him now. Look at wow, hold on, let me set it up so you can see. Look at him right now. Look at him. Look at him. What up, Rob? What's going on, my man? I was debating on whether I was gonna put this picture up or not. But the picture's in the fucking paper. Everybody already seen it. So there you go. Do you think this was a good decision on his behalf? I don't know what that kid said to him, but I just can't imagine putting my hands on a 16-year-old. Again, I'm not in his situation. I can't speak for him. I don't know what was going on in his world that triggered him to put hands on a little kid. A lot of us would say that's cowardly. I would go with that route too. I say, that's a little coward. Why are you picking on a little kid? If that was my son, and I want you to chime in on this. Hey Siri, how we doing? If that was your son, and you heard that this operator, hold on, let me finish that second and one. Let me finish that sentence at once. You heard that this operator did this to your son. What are you? What are you? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What does he think is gonna happen? Regardless of, and I'm not talking about a court case. This is your son, and an operator did this to him. Does it does it matter to you why? Are you gonna go there and ask him, hey, why did you hit my son? Why did you put hands on my son? Why did you break his nose? Because they say he might have a possible broken nose. Why did you break his nose? Huh? Or you come in there for other reasons, right? It's no way that that operator should be back on the job. Yeah, I know. Because it's if Abby, it feels personal to me, right? I'm not like I said. I'm not trying to say um this is what the operator was going. I'm not trying to put him in any position. I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm working it out with you guys because I need to understand at what point do you snap and hit a child. I understand, like I was saying earlier. I know these kids. They're gonna get under you. They're gonna get under your skin. That's what kids do. They always do. But as a professional, right? As a professional, when does it? When do you snap? All right. Let me see what Jose. Although the operator was wrong, my question is, how did that picture get out and it opened? I have an idea. That picture was in the paper. So somebody who was there, I don't know if it was a transit official that took the picture, or was it an investigator that took the picture, or a family member? I don't know. It's all kinds of possible reasons why that could have been released out, but it's in the paper. You know, And that's crazy. And even him in cuffs, like I was saying, having him in cuffs in the paper, I was like, wow, I was debating myself whether I'm going to put that on the screen because I don't want to, I don't, we're not here to put operators in a bad light. The operators have bad days like everybody else. So this is going extreme. This is extreme. You putting hands on somebody else's child is going to bring consequences like you never knew and dangerous consequences because, all right, it's him who hit the kid, right? But now every bus operator looks bad. Every one of you guys look bad now because of this one guy's actions. The population doesn't care about one person. Once that one person does something bad, they assume all of you guys in the same category. It happens with cops, right? You don't really hear anything bad about firefighters, except for maybe some racist shit. But it happens a lot with the cops. You get one bad apple, and then the whole precinct is corrupt. It's the same with bus operators. You get one operator who has a bad day, and you say good morning, and the operator turn around and says fuck you. Now we all fucking bad operators. It just happens. This guy went a little step further and broke this little kid's nose. Look at that picture. That is crazy. That is crazy. And I keep trying to tell y'all have to absorb that stuff. Let your uniform absorb the stresses that come with the job. Because the job itself is extremely stressful. People don't understand because they can't see for their own eyes. What are you going through? They don't see what your mentality is while you're driving. There's so many hazards. There's so many things to look out for while you're driving. It's mentally exhausting. But all they see you is driving. They don't see nothing else going on. So they like, it's a piece of cake. Anybody can do that. No, anybody can't. Anybody. There's instances where you're on what we call the 7 day. That's before you actually get hired. They're training you on the bus on how to maneuver the bus and how to. Now they don't train you too much on interacting with the public, but mostly on how to maneuver the bus and what to look out for, the hazards and stuff. Right? They give you 7 days for that before you pick a depot, and then you learn those routes for the next 30 days or so before you go on your own. Right? But those 7 days, they're stressful, and there's people who quit before they even get the job. They're like, this ain't for me. And they ain't even deal with the public yet. That's how stressful it can be. That first year on probation is extremely stressful. Well, yeah. That's another thing. You're not supposed to leave a seat to go out and escalate the situation. You should have called counsel. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I probably would have got out my seat, but I'm not the best example in the world. I would have got out my seat, but I wouldn't approach the kid in a angry fashion because I know he's just being a kid. It's the most idiot. It's one of the most idiotic things you can do next to subway surfing because it's so dangerous. But he's a kid. Nobody cares about that when you're 16, 17. You're just trying to have fun. That's fun. Depending on where you grew up at, right? What a big bad, big pain in the butt, right? So I would have got out and say, hey, sure, listen, man, you're gonna get yourself hurt. Let go of the bus, go about your business. And then I sit the bus there until he leaves. I let the passengers know, listen, this guy, little kid, is riding on the back. That's a very dangerous situation. I don't want to run over him with my back tires. But then when everybody's gonna have to get off, I would explain to him and then call counsel. Listen, I got a rider here. Can you send the police to come, let them know what route you're on, which way you're heading. That way the police could come and intercept them, right? So, there's other ways he could have did that. Big Smooth, what up, Smooth? Some of those Ariga superintendents are wannabe drill instructors. Listen, not everybody can have power. Some people get power and it goes straight to their heads. That's what you got to chalk that up to, and then ignore them, right? But yeah, you see how easy he could have avoided that situation. He didn't even have to leave his seat. Pick up the PA system, let them know, let the passengers know why you're standing still because you're making them late, right? Listen, this is a very dangerous situation going on. This kid's surfing the bus. I don't want to run over him. I'm calling for the police to make sure he doesn't, he gets off. We'll be moving shortly. I appreciate your patience and I apologize for the delay. And that's it. You wait there till that kid either goes or the police come and get him. To get out your seat to go and talk to him and then get it escalated, because most likely he's probably going to tell you to go fuck yourself and whatever, because they're kids. They don't, what I mean? They don't have no respect. Not these kids nowadays, right? So that's how it could have went down. But hold on, I want to show you this again because I feel like this is the only way you guys are going to get the message, right? I want to show you this again. And I'm not doing this to be an asshole, although that's, like my middle name and my family. But look at at him. Look at him. You tell me if you think he made a good decision. Look at him. Look at his legs. What's on his legs? What's on his left arm? And what do you think is going to happen to his job? Right? No, yeah. Go ahead. Let me see. Bro, we're humans first and foremost, and this must have been the straw that broke the camel's back. It is exactly the straw that broke the camel's back. And that is my point. Smooth. There's always going to be a straw out there. Everybody's on pins and needles. Your job as a professional, I'm going to say it again, is to let your uniform absorb that shit. Think of it as a shield between you and the real world. When a customer comes on a bus and curse you out, they're not cursing you. They don't fucking know you. They're cursing the company you represent. If you have that mentality, none of that shit gets to you. Me, when I used to drive, that was my mentality. But like you said, we're human. And there's certain people in certain ethnic groups that know exactly how to push your buttons. I know that. So as an extra precautionary measure, I would chew bubble gum. I had my mirror shades so you can't see where my eyes are going. And I had my bubble gum. So when somebody came on and knew how to push my buttons the right way, I chewed the bubble gum a little bit harder and I look out the window. Done. They walk away. Yeah, exactly. Look at his consequences, right? He's done. Lost his freedom and his job because he wanted to lose his shit. He didn't want to lose his shit. I have to correct you on that, Smooth. I don't think anybody wants to lose their shit. It happens. Unfortunately, it happens. But that's the time where your professionalism is supposed to kick in. I've gotten spit in the face while driving by a kid. Hold on. He's not Superman. If that kid swing on him and knocked him out, what would anyone would have said and done? They would have said he got knocked out by a little kid. Punk ass should have never left the seat. But he put himself in that position, right? If Shorty was a good boxer like that, you don't. That's the thing. You don't know what you're walking into. You don't know who knows what and how, right? What if Shorty was the kid of a heavyweight boxer, right? And you went out there and Shorty two-pieced you real quick. Now you out on injury for 2 years, but you got to live with that. The fact that a little kid just knocked you the fuck out. Now, transit. Transit is gonna have that shit all over the place before you even hit the floor. You got knocked out by a little kid. All the women gonna be looking at you funny. Your peers are gonna be like, man, you better shut up before I get that boy to knock your ass out again. It's gonna be forever, right? Yeah, no, that's yeah, Beverly. People are just speculating. Nobody really knows exactly what happened except for him, the MTA, and the police. I mean, I don't know if he's going to lose his job. That is very hard to do in transit, even in a situation like this. But yeah, what up, Big Jew? You mean the bus operator defending himself? Some of these comments, y'all can't see because it's coming from Facebook. I'm not sure why they don't show up here. Um, but yeah, YouTube. You want your comments? Come subscribe to YouTube. Matter of fact, if you look where you at, down there in the corner, you could just scan the QR code and subscribe right now, right? And then that way when you post the comments, everybody could see them down there. Here go Smooth says, I used to turn up my music in my earpiece. Oh yeah, you're already violating. So, but go ahead, I'll finish it. I used to turn up my music in my earpiece until some SLD threatened me with pulling me out of service. Yeah, you see, because you violated. You're not supposed to have any electronics on you. Flying up and down the Bronx jamming today. I don't, and the crazy thing about that, Smooth, is they should let us listen to music. It's not like when we drive, we don't listen to music anyway. That's just part of driving, right? I understand it could be a distraction, but if you keep it low, it keeps us entertained. It keeps us happy, which should be better put out for work, right? The better product for work. But they don't want us to listen to music. They don't want us having any electronics on us. So yeah, you violated already. I would not recommend that, people. Don't listen to Smooth on that one. Big, what's good, my man? What's going down, man? You just said he should. Uh, I'm sorry. I don't. Abby, I lost you. You said I said he should. I'm not sure what I said he should do, but I'm hoping it's the right thing. Can you type in what I said? Cause I'm going a mile a minute right now. I said he should. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what you mean by that. What did I say? Was it wrong? I mean, you could always correct me. If you think I said something wrong, just put it in the comments. Correct me. I'm not above being corrected. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I ain't Jesus. But I'm. Oh wait, let me take his picture off. I think we got. I think we got the idea about his decision here. I don't think it was wise. Honestly, oh, he should lose his job. Did I say he should lose his job? I said that. Did I say that? He should lose his job. Well, if those words came out of my mouth, then that was wrong. No, um, he may lose his job, but with transit, it's hard to lose your job, even with something like that. They might pull him off the bus and make him a shifter or something for a little while, or maybe for the rest of his career, or even demote him down to a cleaner. Right? It's hard to lose your job in transit. That might be an exception, but I won't know until it happens. Right? I just know it's very difficult. Even when we had the one guy at our depot, I remember it was on the news. He was on a 35 and he pulled the lady off the bus. He physically pulled her off the bus because she kept smoking, right? Which is dangerous. We have compressed natural gas buses there. One light and boom. You know what I mean? So that's very dangerous. And I don't blame him for pulling her off. Allegedly. Let me just put that in there. Allegedly. Pulled her off. And while she was on the floor, he was trying to let go, but she kept grabbing at him, right? She kept grabbing at him. And so when the media shot the video, or whoever was shooting the video with their camera, they were saying that he was punching her in the face, and it looked like that. And I'm like, wait a minute. We all know this guy. I forgot his name, but we all know the guy. And we was like, that's not him. Why would he do that? Nobody could see him punching her in the face. So he's like, there's got to be a lie. But it doesn't matter because now it's out there, right? So now it was on 35. Everybody on 35 looked like beaters. And, I ran into him in the yard. I was surprised because when he told me, I'm like, yo, what happened? So he's like, yo, I'm like, yo, did you really punch that lady in the face? He's like, no. He's like, I was trying to get off of her and she kept grabbing me. He said, it looks like I was punching her. I wasn't, no, I was just trying to, I'm like, oh, that makes more sense. But, that's how the perception went out. But he was in the yard. They pulled him off the bus. They made him work in the yard. So, yeah, I mean, this one, he actually broke the kid's nose, man. Yeah, so Abby, yeah, I take that back. I don't think he should lose his job. I think he should be fearful for the rest of his life because if that kid has a father, if he's anything close to me, he's looking for blood, right? Now, I just hope nothing happens to any other bus driver, and I'm not wishing this upon him because of that, right? He could get the father or somebody who's close to him could be frustrated that they can't get hands on him and they take it out on the next operator they see. This is the type of positions that actions like that put us in. Right? Now you got a driver that has nothing to do with nothing or none of that and gets assaulted or worse because they can't get hands on him. Right? The consequences could keep going, but these are all just speculation, right? This hasn't happened, and it may never. I hope it may never happen. But that was just the wrong decision on his part. Like they said earlier in the comments, he could have just called counsel. He never had to leave the seat. He called counsel. I would have called counsel. I would have told him to call the police. I would have let the passengers know because I wasn't going to move my bus after that until he's gone. Let them know, we're not moving. If they want to get off or catch another bus, give them the transfers, open the doors, and we'll sit there till either the cops come or he disappear. Just let counsel know. That could have been his course of action. That should be your course of action. But him hitting that kid the way he did like that, and I don't know what the kid said or what the kid did to him. If the kid hit him first, like I was about to say that I got assaulted like that. I got assaulted on the B9 by a little kid who spit on me, right? And I gotta tell y'all, look at me. When that little kid spit on me, I already envisioned my hands around his throat, choking the life out of him. But he was a kid, right? And he wasn't completely deaf, you know what I'm saying? Right? He was a little slow. And he wanted me to open the door to let him out, but I'm in the middle of the street driving because he missed his stop. So he just wanted to get off in the middle of the street while I'm driving. And I'm like, okay, kid, I'm going to let you off, but let me get to the bus stop. It's coming right up. I'll let you off. Right. He didn't want to hear none of that. Well, this is before we had the Bobby's plexiglass, and he spit on me. He was so upset that he spit on me. Caught me here, caught me close to my eye. I wanted to wring the life out that little kid. I pulled over, I let him out, and I called counsel. Counsel emptied my bus, blah, blah, blah. I took about an hour or two. They told me I could go home and go IOD. I took an hour, and I woosah. I just went back to work. Wrote out an incident report and kept it moving. But the devil was in my head. Let me see. You keep speaking as if he knew that the kid was a kid. These kids. No. That's another point. These kids be looking like grown adults, but they shouldn't matter because the outcome would have been the same whether he thought he was a kid or not. It hurts even more that it's a kid. I don't know if he knew it was a kid or not. He probably, I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I'm not there. I can't say I know exactly, but it turns out it was a kid. He should have never left the seat. That's the bottom line. He should have never left the seat. And grown men, I mean, surfing, it's not like it's impossible, but you that's more of a rarity than the kid, right? But yeah, you're right. You don't know. You don't know if he was. I don't know if he knew he was a kid. Only he knows that. But I mean, there's certain things that can tell you it's a kid. You know, if you go out there, you speak to him, there's just ways you can tell it's a kid, especially as a grown man, right? But I mean, yeah, that's crazy. He says, "Bro, I may have violated, but music has given me the opportunity to deflect and diffuse many fucked up situations because I paid these South Bronx people no mind." But you see, the key word here, the key phrase here is paying the people no mind. And I know that the music is a part of that. It's a big part of that, right? But the fact is, you can't have that on you. So you have to work around that. You got to try to do the same. You got to try to have the same result without breaking the laws, the rules of engagement, right? So I mean, try. You could try the method I have is chew bubblegum, right? And when they aggravate you, you chew harder and look out the window. Or just give them the death stare while you chewing your gum. I did that to a lady once when she got on and she was just and then her voice on top of that was just you ever hear somebody where their voice just make the hairs on the back end? It's just like, what the fuck? Like, shut the fuck up. It was one of those ladies, like, not only was her voice annoying, she was just going off, and I don't even know what the hell she was talking about. But she was going off at me. And all I did was I sat there, looking on the side. I had my shades on, and I was chewing my bubble gum like that while she was going on. She stopped whatever the mid rant and was like, "You really don't give a fuck, do you?" And I didn't move. I didn't answer. I just kept chewing my bubble gum. And she just walked off because I really didn't give a fuck. I was just tuning her ass out, but her voice was annoying. Oh, let me get to some more of these comments. Yeah. Picture. Hold on. I got more comments. Oh, we going on today. So it says, hold on, let me get to Paula. Paula says, oh, hold on, you keep speaking as if they knew the kid was a kid. I don't mean to keep saying it like that. I don't know if he knew it, the kid. I want to clear that up. I don't know if he knew it was a kid or not. If I'm talking like he knew, I'm just going on after the fact. It's easy to be a Monday night quarterback after everything's done, right? So Paula says, my concern was the demoralizing of his character. The demeaning way of them cuffing him like a murderer was appalling for the persons, meaning POSLD. If they did post this picture, they should be, hold on, discipline. Any injury to one of us is an injury to all of us. We, as brothers and sisters of the same union, need to stand with the B.O. Brown and stand with you. I stand with you, Operator Brown. I'm not necessarily aboard on that, Paula. I I understand the solidarity that we're supposed to have with each other, but as far as the handcuffs like that, that's procedure. They do that to anybody that's in custody. It doesn't matter what you did. Once you're in custody, they cuff you to the bed and they shackle your feet. That's just plain procedure. It has nothing to do with him as a person or what happened that led him to that position. That is a police procedure. Whoever took the picture, I don't know, and then released it to the press, that's an investigation that should go on there. That should be um, investigated and found out, and whoever did that should be disciplined if it's somebody in the system. So yeah, that's not about him. That's not about them trying to demoralize him or anything like that. That's a police procedure. But yeah, the other stuff, as far as they're releasing the pictures and stuff, yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem. Now I understand you want to stand with your brothers and sisters like that, but if somebody hits your kid, you still standing with them. You don't hit a kid. I don't know. Again, I'm not saying that he knew it was a kid, but you have to. He should have never went out there. That should have never happened, right? The fact that it's a kid just makes it worse. But he should have never left his seat to confront him. You don't have to. You got procedures to follow as a professional. So I can't stand with him on that. I'm sorry. I hope he doesn't lose his job, and I hope he learns from this. I don't know the man to be judging him in any way possible. But I just hope that he learns from this. He should have never got out that seat and never approached that person. I'm gonna call him a person because we know he was a kid, but nobody knew he was a kid before that, right? So he's a person. It says, yeah, again, Beverly says, again, it's easy to say what we would have done from the outside looking in and have encountered a few situations on the bus that I told myself I would handle it until I was faced with him. Yeah, that's true. Like I said, and I've been assaulted. I just told you my story, and it was a kid. And in my mind, I choked the shit out of him. But I'm a professional. Open the doors because you can't, in a situation, you have to open the doors, which I don't understand that rule. You have to open the doors so that your assailant can get away for whatever reason. And then you call counsel. You hit the PRTT, the priority, right? And then let them handle it. So that's what I did. Lord knows. It took about an hour for me to calm down because I wanted to wrap my hands around that little boy's throat and just snuff his life. And I was actually thinking about using the phone cord to do it when I was calling counsel. I was like, I could just wrap this shit around his neck and just, but I digress. I woosah for an hour and I went back to work. I know, Vic, you said something. Hold on, I think I missed it. Let me see if I can find it for you. So, hold on. Paul said, so when we're sold, do they get a free meal? Paula, you ain't right. I'm not even going to read that one about the free meal. He went out there for a safety reason. No, you don't go out there. I think it was confrontational. Note that it's under. Yeah, that's why you stop the bus completely. Because you don't know if he might fall under them tires or not. You stop the bus completely. You hit the PRTT. You let these people know what's happening because they're going to jump on you. And you tell counsel either send the cops or something, or just don't move the bus until he disappears. Yeah, you could do that. There you go. Look, Vic says, this is why I always took myself away from the situation by taking it personal, praying that the operator can recover. That's another way you could do it. Just take it personal. You have means to get out of the situation. If you feel that you being pushed to the point where you're about to snap, take it personal. I think that's one of the best things you can do. Take it personal. Hmm. Okay, that's just now. If he was under the bus, under the tires, then what? Yeah, no. If he's under the tires, then it's a whole different headline, right? That's a tragic situation for everybody, because not only is there the loss of life, right? That's just because I've almost unalived somebody with my bus myself, so I know exactly how close it feels. I don't know exactly how it feels by actually unaliving somebody, but I came close, really close. And I tell you, when that happened, I was for a little while. I worked the bus, but I was literally shaking for a little while. But yeah, that would be such a tragedy because one, you have the loss of life, right? Now the operator has trauma, has a mental trauma he has to deal with. But not just the operator, the passengers. Some people never seen death before, and that's a gruesome death, right? To get flattened under the tire. Nobody. How many of y'all ever seen a real human body flattened by tires? It's not a pretty sight, right? So, yeah, that would be crazy. I mean, the good thing is he stopped the bus. Bad thing is everything after. He got out the seat, went and confronted the kid. Everything just went downhill once he left the seat, right? So I think the lesson that we can learn, we all can learn from it. And I'm glad you guys are chiming in What up, struggler? I'm glad you guys are chiming in because this is something we need to talk about. This is something Zariga should be training people about, right? This should be the newest update in their training. A situation like this, right? That way, if it happens to you, you know what to do because you have to constantly be running this by yourself in order to make it like muscle memory, right? Because when it happens in the heat of the moment, nobody knows what you're gonna do. You don't even know what you're gonna do. But if you train yourself often enough, it becomes muscle memory. This is a muscle too, right? If you train yourself often enough, it's no longer a jerk reaction. It's a reaction, but you fall back to your training instantly. That's why athletes train the way they do, because you don't have time to make a decision. You have to rely on your training in order to progress, right? That's why they train constantly on the same things over and over. And that's what Zariga and, quite frankly, the union should be doing outside of Zariga, right? Everybody should have at least 2 or 3 days in the calendar year where you do a refresher course on customer service and things of this nature, just so you have it in you to react the right way and fall on that training so this doesn't happen again. That could be something you guys what up, Tanya? What's going on? That could be something that you could bring up to your depot chairman. Show them the cast if they're not watching. Let them know, yo, this is a good topic. Something you could bring up with the members, have a nice meeting, and have the members all discuss this out. Because everybody has different ideas of what they think they would do until they're in a situation. And again, let me just go back to this. Um, I don't. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I don't know what he said to that kid, or what that kid said to him. Uh, I don't know what that kid looks like before the bruises, because he could look like he was an adult, you know. But it all stems from when he. It starts when the kid grabs the bus to ride, right? But it really doesn't officially start until he sees that kid and then decides to get out the seat. That's the problem. Can't get out the seat. You got the phone there, RTT or PRTT, right? Let them know what's going on. Have them send out cops to come get him, to intercept him, right? I wouldn't move the bus knowing he's there. But some people, they feel like, well, I got to keep it moving, right? And so you let them know what's your route, what's your direction, and they can intercept you and get the kid off. I personally would not move the bus, but I would definitely have to tell them, because the B6 crowd, depending on where you at in Brooklyn, uh, they rival the 35, right? Thank you, Angela. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, okay, I got you, Paula. You bet. She says we bet. You bet we will stand by his side. We support him regardless of what his actions are. Yeah, you cannot tell what a person will do in a moment. Yeah, of being assaulted. I agree with that. We all know that Sedgwick is denying comp cases. Our brother did just right by defending himself. That's assuming that the kid assaulted him, right? If I'm reading that right, we don't know if that happened. I didn't hear anything about the kid assaulting him. All I heard, that there was a back and forth in the article. We can go back to the article. I'm not saying that the article is correct, but this is the only information we have right now, right? Uh, yeah, it says he right under the bus driver was arrested by a knife for allegedly punching a 60-year-old. Says the two got into an argument outside the B6, near Bay Parkway East 2nd Street. See, that section right there. The two got into an argument outside of a B6. That means the operator went out to him. That shouldn't have happened. That part shouldn't have happened. And 42 bus driver Michael Brown. Yeah, see, police said 42-year-old bus driver Michael Brown got out to address the teen, and an argument culminated in him punching it. See, no, it doesn't say anything about the kid hitting him, or even it doesn't say anything like that. So I don't know. Oh, he spit on him and threw a punch. Okay, well, again, like I said, when I got assaulted like that and that kid spit on me, I wanted to wring his fucking throat. So yeah, I didn't. That's the difference. I didn't even leave my seat. I didn't. That's the difference between me and Michael. That's the only difference. I wanted to. I wanted to strangle that kid. He actually did what he wanted. He actually did what he felt he wanted to do. And he shouldn't have. The guy assaulted. And then he took action. Like one of the other comments said earlier, that was probably the last straw that broke the camel's back. It was for him. But now, look at him, you know. So yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, Siri. Yeah. What won't say that? What won't say that, Tanya? I just read it out to you from the article itself. So I don't know what you mean. But yeah, the news, oh yeah, Siri, I know the news lie. I know. Trust me, I know on a personal level that they lie. I know. But that's the only information I got. If unless um somebody else from transit, you know what I mean, can fill me in on what really happened, that's all I have to go by. Right? And from where that looks, he looks bad. It may not be the case. It may not be the case that what they saying happened actually happened that way, which I would give it a 50-50 that it didn't actually happen that way. And there's some pertinent information that is not being said. But then where's our union on the counteraction on that? Right? If they know that what was published is a lie, then where's the union rebutting that? Going out there, they don't care, bro. They should be going out there and backing him up if that's not what happened. Do you guys have any articles that say that? If you can, please send it to me. I would gladly put that out there and gladly refute that paper. I don't have it, so I have to go by what I have. Smooth says, bro, I was assaulted in 2017, and the only reason I wasn't in the same situation as Operator Brown is because my partition door got stuck. You see, the cheap-ass partition door saved your job. You could thank Bobby's for that. No, but on a serious note, getting assaulted is, whoo, man, it's top tier right there, boy. It's top tier right there. It's not like Paula said, and Abigail and Beverly. I know they getting on my case, you know what? But it's you don't know what's gonna happen when you get assaulted. You don't know what you're gonna do. I do because I've been assaulted and I acted appropriately. I'm glad to say, but yeah, you just don't know. But that partition probably saved your job, bro. Yep. So there's two sides. No, there's three sides, Paula. There's two sides. I'm gonna read it out though. There's two sides to every story. Our union, Mr. Kemp made a video and he did made him up. He did made him up. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I purposely didn't watch that video with Kemp because I didn't want to conflict what I was going to say. Right? I wanted to say what I would say first before I watched this video. Hopefully, he had to change my mind on what's happening. I'm going to watch it, but I haven't watched it. I purposely didn't watch it. I saw that he put a video up about it, and I'm like, oh no, I can't watch it just yet because I'm looking at the articles and stuff, and I'm already formulating my opinion, and I want it to be organic, right? So if I watch Kemp's video and it changes the situation, then okay, I'll let you guys know. Let me see what else. Well, yeah, I was saying you said two sides, there's three sides to every story. There's His side is her side, and then there's the truth. So three sides, three sides. Miss Adams at a camp didn't make a video in the next election, next action. You bet I'll be on. Okay, good. Beverly, I already know if someone insulted me, I'm defending myself. Beverly, you better call PRTT, because if not, I'm coming down to the cell, and I'm gonna eat a bologna sandwich in your face. You want to blame? Do you want to blame the operator? You are one track mind. You just told me so. I don't want to blame the operator. Why you say that? I'm just saying he shouldn't have left the seat. I ain't blaming him for anything. Where you get that from? You didn't watch the video, but you bases your opinion on the article. Yeah, on the article. Yeah, I didn't want Kemp's video to disrupt from what I'm getting, because this is what I'm getting is what the public is getting. You see what I'm saying? So anybody who reads that article is probably going to think on the same lines as I'm thinking, and that's usually not a good thing when it comes to transit workers, right? Because they always making us look bad. But what I'm saying, okay, so Kemp put a video out on social media. Great. I hope it defends him. We find some new information out of it. But why not go to the papers with it, right? If the guy is innocent of what he did, then they should be broadcasting that, because right now what's being broadcast is not looking good for that operator. So the union should go and broadcast that out to everybody else, the same way the papers broadcast it. You be smiling with your mugshot. I bet you. I bet you would. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, Abby's not there. What's going on? I don't know what's going on, Abby. Oh no, the truth. No, the truth. Well, it depends, right? It's not. I don't think what papers is about the truth. It's more about what sells more, right? And making an operator look bad instead of a kid, right? If the kid looks bad, that people are gonna say, "Oh, just discipline or whatever." But if a grown man looks bad, that sells more paper, right? So, yep, exactly. So yeah, listen, guys, shit. I didn't even get to the other side. I knew this subject was going to be, I knew this subject was going to be a topic. But yeah, listen, everybody, thank you. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch. Matter of fact, Paula, can you tag me or send me Ken's video so I can watch it? I'm gonna watch it now, and I'll give you guys an update on if my opinion changes on this or not. But again, I'm not trying to knock that Mr. Brown, right? That's his name, Michael Brown. I'm not trying to knock him. I'm just saying, from what I know, hitting the child, no. If it was my child, and I'm sure some of you guys can agree with me. You may not say it to my face, but if it was my child, I'll be waiting for him. I'm gonna do that man dirty. It's not my child. It's not gonna happen. But I'm just saying, if he has a father who thinks anything like me, you never know, right? And he could his that action has potentially put other operators at risk. Because if he's angry enough, right, he might not wait for Mr. Brown to get back on the bus. He might just pick the first operator he see to send a message. You don't know what people are going through, right? And I hope that everything works out for Mr. Brown. I hope he learned the lesson behind it. I mean, it could be a hard lesson, and I understand sometimes you got to suck it up when you get assaulted. I did. It wasn't easy, but I didn't get it locked up or anything like that. So yeah. Beverly said I have a teenager, and if my child, I'd be upset. But then if I found out my child swung on a grown man, I'm gonna be mad and glad all he gave my child. Well, he broke his nose though. You see his face? Hold on, Beverly. Did you see his face? Hold on. It's already the end of the show, but I gotta show this because I don't think y'all seen his face. This kid's face was fucked up. There we go. Hold on. I want you to look at this kid's face and you tell me. Oh, let me get this out of here. Where is this coming in? Look at this kid's face. And you tell me how you would feel if your kid came home with that. And I want you to be honest with me. I don't want you to bullshit me. How would you feel if your kid came home with that and you found out this was a grown person who did that to your kid? He died. Jesus Christ. Oh, you saw everything? You was there, Abby? Oh, you saw him. Oh, he's not. I don't. Why am I posting there? I mean, it's public. It's public information. It's in the. It's in the. Um. You know. It's out there already. My little channel ain't adding nothing to it. I got like 14 people watching. Ain't nobody. You know. No, I don't know what that dude's going through. I don't know what that operator's going through. Yo, y'all, hold on, y'all wilding out. Y'all wilding out. All I'm saying is, right? That's if your kid was wrong, you got to find out what the story is. You don't know if you don't know if your kid was wrong when he first come on with that. The first thing you're thinking about who the fuck, and then you find out it's a grown person that did that to your kid. I don't know about you. I can't put this on you. I know if somebody did that to my kid, I'm going out for blood. I'm going out for blood. I don't even care if my kid was wrong or not. You don't put your hands on my child. You don't. I don't care who you are. I don't care what my kid did. You don't put your hands on my child. If my child came home like that, you gonna be worse. I don't even care. And that's just me. I'm gonna leave it at that. Y'all guys call me what you want. I'm just keeping it a buck. I've never been lying to y'all, and I'll tell y'all, I don't play those games. I don't care. I don't care, wrong or right. My kid, you don't touch. You tell me, or you get cops to lock them up or something like that. I don't care. You don't touch my kids. But yeah, I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Right or wrong, I'm gonna watch. Hey, Paul, if you can, send me Kim's video or tag me in it so I can watch it. I didn't even get to the other subject. It's okay. It's cool. We went over the hour mark. I appreciate the conversations that we have around. I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully, it'll be good. you yeah. So, yep, exactly. So, listen, guys. I'll catch you guys next week. I'm gonna go eat and take care of some more business. All right. Appreciate you guys watching. If you can, subscribe to the channel. Where am I? I'm lost. Okay. If you can, subscribe to the channel. YouTube. And then hit the bells to be notified. I got a couple of things coming up in this month. Bev, if you're still there and you're part of the group, right? I'm trying to get y'all together so we can celebrate Women's History Month. So hit up Chocolate. She knows about it. I'm trying to get all you girls together so we can all sit down on a panel and give you girls your flowers. So if you're in the women's group in Jackie Gleason Depot, contact each other, and that way we can get a date for you guys to sit down with me. All right. I want to get that done before the month is over. So everybody else, I appreciate you watching. It's been a real talk. And I know some of you guys may not like what I said. I get it. But I'm gonna say what I don't put your hands on my child. I don't know. Yeah, fuck when you know what I mean? But yeah, we don't know the whole situation. And hopefully I can get a better view at it from Alexander's post. But I would like an official, an official memo from the union exactly exactly what happened. You know what I mean? So that way I can put it out there too. But right now I'm just going on the article. I'm not going by what anybody else said or any rumors. And so that's what it is. So I catch you guys next week. Appreciate the conversation going. Went a little over the time. And thank you guys for watching. And listen, fuck them if they can't take a joke. Later, y'all. Let us go on. There we go.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.